everyone, I'm Laura from Go Simply, and today I have a lying leg or lower body toning with the medicine ball. So all of the exercises we're going to be doing today, we're going to use a medicine ball. Mine is 8 pounds. If you don't have a medicine ball, you should very easily be able to do this with a single dumbbell. Again, pick a weight that's appropriate for you. This doesn't have a warm-up or a cool-down, but I will put a link in the description below so that you can have one. So we're going to start with a bridge knee squeeze. So you can put the ball between your knees, and we're simply going to lift the hips up into a bridge and then lower down. So lift up and lower down. You could, if you wanted to, raise your hands above your head for a little bit of extra balance work there, and I have my knees really squeezing on the ball here. So if you have a dumbbell, you can't really squeeze it; it's too hard. But you can hold it there, and you might want to use one hand for support to make sure it doesn't fall on you. But so just a few more seconds here. We're doing all of these exercises for 45 seconds apiece, with a 15-second break in between where I can tell you what's coming up next. Okay, so now I'm going to roll over onto my back, and I'm going to take the ball and rest it between my knees there, and then just bend my legs, and I'm just gonna, it's really hard to see, but I'm just raising my legs just a little bit off the ground, and it's really working this sort of upper part of the glutes in here and a bit into the lower back. It's not much of a movement. My knees are literally only going about 2 inches off the mat, if that. But it's enough to feel it, and that's what you want. You just want that tight squeeze there. We're working some very, very small muscles. Well, the glutes are big, but the muscles in the back, they're very deep inside. So just a few more seconds here. This whole workout is just over, I guess, about 12 minutes long. Okay, so you can let that ball sort of slide out. We're going to do an outside leg lift. I'm going to do both sides of the body. I happen to be lying on my left, but you can use whichever. And I'm going to come all the way down, and I'm just going to hold the ball here, and I'm going to lift and lower this leg. So again, you can put a dumbbell on the outside of your leg. You could probably do all of these exercises with ankle weights as well if you wanted to, if you had them. So you don't have to lift super high here, but you do need to hold that ball or that dumbbell in place. It's not going to stay on its own, so you must hold it. Just raise and lower. It's nice to mix up the equipment you're using when you're working your body, because you work the muscles just a little bit differently. And so it can really give a very well-rounded look to the muscles. Okay, and now we're going to do an inside raise. I'm going to let that ball fall. I'm going to put this leg up behind, and I'm going to take the ball and I'm going to rest it on the inside of my thigh. And just, again, hold it there. Flex my foot so my toes are pointing toward my nose, and then lift and lower. So just up and down. You don't want to have momentum. You try not to roll. I know I'm rolling a little bit forwards and backwards, but try not to do that too much. Keep your abdominals pulled in tight to sort of help support. And I just have, my head is literally just totally resting in my hands. So just a few more seconds here, and then we'll switch again. Good job. And now I'm going to do a clam shell. So bend your legs and get this ball up. Sort of rest in mid-thigh here, and we're going to keep our feet together, but open up. Though, like, I'm actually going to roll it a little bit down closer to my knee because it's just easier to hold. And so just opening like a shell, like a pretty clam shell on the beach. It is finally warming up. I cannot complain about the weather we've had lately. It's been seasonably warmer, than we would expect at this time of year. And it's been just, I love the warm weather, so it's been just lovely. Where I live, we don't have a long summer. If I get 4 months of great weather, I'm happy. So it's really nice to have this little bit of extra. We have long winters here. Excellent. So now I'm going to do a donkey kick. And this, I feel like my ball is going to slide out because I have on capris instead of shorts. So there isn't, but you're going to squeeze it between the calf and the thigh. And you're going to lift and then lower all the way down. And if you have a dumbbell, it might actually be easier, or a smaller ball than I have. But I may have to readjust it a few times. The good news is if it slips out, mine is very soft-sided, so we'll just sort of bounce on the floor. There, readjust it. And keep going. There. And after this, we're going to switch sides and do everything we've just done on the other side of the body. Excellent. So I'm going to let that drop. And I'm going to come down on the other side. And I'm going to do an outside leg lift. So I'm going to lie down. I'm going to prop my head like I'm watching television on the floor. And I'm just going to raise and lower. I used to watch TV like this as a kid. And now I think, why would I get down on the floor if I have a lovely couch? But, you know, I suppose decades later, the body doesn't appreciate being on the floor quite the same way. And my couch is very comfortable. And that's okay. It's okay that I have gotten to that point in my life where I prefer not to be lying on the floor. Thankfully, my kids are, oh gosh, they're teenagers now. So I don't spend a lot of time on the floor. I can remember when they were little and every day was on the floor. Excellent. So now I'm going to take this leg up behind and I'm going to roll the ball onto the inside of my thigh that's on the ground. And we're just simply going to lift and lower here. I'm going to take my toes and point them up towards my nose so my foot is really flexed and pointing towards me with the heel going out the bottom end. And simply raise and lower. And again, try and keep that torso from rolling all around as best you can. Yeah, I know many of you have little ones and you're on the floor all day long, up and down, up and down. And that's hard. I remember that phase. You don't really forget these phases. I mean, I guess you do a little bit and that you're like, oh, was it really hard? But that's just time telling you, yes, it was hard. It was really hard and it was really tiring. And they were wonderful. They were. But it was hard. Okay, now we're going to do that clam shell again. So I am going to come up, get my knees bent. It's sort of a 90 there. Not quite. More like a 45. Lean down on my elbow. Feet glued together. And just sort of open and close. Almost lost my ball there. Open and close. It's funny, when I look down at my leg, I can see the imprint from my medicine ball from when I did the donkey kick, which is the next move we'll be doing on the other side of the body. And we're getting very close to the end here. We only have about 3 minutes left. So you're doing a great job. We're almost there. This is a nice workout to add at the end of something. I have a lot of sort of upper body workouts, seated ones especially, where they're about 20 minutes and then, excuse me, this would be a good exercise video to add to the end of that if you want like a 30 to 35 minute workout. Excellent. I'm going to let that ball roll down. I'm going to get up on all fours and I'm going to try and get that ball in between my calf and my thigh there and sort of pin it together, and I'm going to have to readjust it, I'm sure, but lift and lower. Lift and lower. Yep, I'm going to readjust already on this side. Lift and lower. If you're finding finding it just too hard to hold it, as I seem to be having a big challenge on this side. I did much better on the other side. You could certainly do this without weights. That would be just fine. But if you can't get it in a good position and squeeze it, then it is really working those hamstrings. So just a few more seconds here, and then I think we have one more exercise. Excellent. And so now we're going to come roll that ball. We're going to flip over onto our backs. We're going to do a bridge. And this time we're going to rest the ball just on the hips here. And we're going to push up, open the legs out, squeeze them back in, and lower down. So medicine ball is just providing some extra weight so that when we push up, we really feel it in the glutes, we feel it in the back of the hamstrings. And then when we get up into the top of the bridge, we're using our inner and outer thigh muscles to push the legs apart and pull them back together. So just a few more seconds here. We have just about 10 seconds left, and then this workout is done. Roll that off to the side, and I'm going to sit up. Good job, everybody. You should feel really proud of yourself for doing that. It's tough with a medicine ball to do some of these lower body moves down on the mat, but it is worth it. The results are wonderful. You work your muscles in a different range of motion, so they get much more well-rounded, and the more well-rounded and worked the muscle, the stronger they are, and then less injury. So thank you for joining me. Let me know if you like this workout in the comments below. Let me know what else you would like to see, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.